What is up, everybody? Welcome to the second official episode of the Popcorn Bucket. That's the name we're going with. I had come up with a bunch of names that were probably very inappropriate. The one that won on Twitter was called Coming Attractions, but it was spelled incorrectly, so I don't think it was able to be put on as a. I don't know, it wasn't a good idea. It wasn't a good idea. So, Rito. My buddy Rito, one of the listeners, longtime listeners, came up with the name, the bottom of the popcorn bucket. We all know what he's talking about. We're just gonna call it the popcorn bucket, and that's because there's a resurgence of popcorn buckets in the movie field these days, and I absolutely love it because it reminds me of lunchboxes. But we'll get to that in a second. But with me today is my co-host Matt. What's up, Matt?
How's it going? Thanks for having me as always.
Oh, of course, thanks for being here, and we have a very special guest today. This other co-host that's on with us today that's going to be talking Beetlejuice with us is a guy that I met many moons ago in the whole podcast world. We used to be in something called the IHOP Network, which is the International House of Podcasts, which didn't last very long once we created it because then COVID hit and the whole world blew up. But please welcome from Not Another Nerdy Podcast, Tom VanZant.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, dude, thanks for coming on. I was so excited to see you guys uploading podcasts again on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, we did not pod fade, as they say. We take periodic hiatuses and then we come back, when there's something worthy to talk about. We're not trying to record weekly. Lord knows some podcasts do that, and more power to them. We are not one of those. We're hashtag most weeks off. That's what
that is the complete opposite of what I'm going for.
Right.
I need to make a living. I really want to make a living out of this.
Cool.
It's gonna take a real long time. You need, in order to get monetization on here, you need a minimum of 1,000 subscribers and certain number of hours. So I am trying to pump out as much content as possible.
Well, hopefully my appearance will help you to at least get all of the Greenfield, Massachusetts Big Y people to subscribe. That should be good for at least 5 subscribers for you.
Well, we already got Lily's Emmy, right?
She's
one of yours, right? She's one of yours.
One of my children, yes, my many children that I've sired out of wedlock.
I'm not sure if J Money listens to us yet. I got to get the account.
Yes, he does. I think he does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he'll definitely listen to this episode because he likes to make fun of me. So
sure. And what about the accountant? What's his name? Chris?
Oh, the official attorney of Not Nation.
The attorney, not the accountant. Right.
Mr. Christopher Todd. He looks like an accountant, though. He could be an accountant. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. He's a lawyer, so I don't know if I would trust him with my money. But
right. Well, hopefully he subscribes. Hopefully all of you subscribe over there at Not Nation.
We got you.
Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you? We'll do that at the beginning and at the end so that all the listener that I have can find you.
Fair enough. So we have a YouTube channel, but don't bother because we're terrible at keeping up with it. But you can definitely find us on all podcast platforms. We're on Spotify. You can stream us on Spotify. As you mentioned, we're on Apple Podcasts, Podbean. Basically, anywhere you can find a podcast, you'll find Not Another Nerdy Podcast. And there is a fake, I don't want to say fake, but there's another podcast that took our name. I don't know if you heard about this.
No, I haven't heard about that.
So this girl, lovely girl, nothing against her. I'm sure she didn't realize we existed, but about a year ago, she started a podcast by herself. God bless her. I don't know how anyone does this by themselves. You need co-hosts to play off of. I mean, it would be awful having to podcast alone. But she tried it, and she named her podcast Not Another Nerdy Podcast. Apparently unaware that we existed, and we've been out. I mean, we've been around for almost 8 years now. So I sent her a kind message just saying, hey, FYI, you might want to change your name a little bit. But she pod faded. She only released a couple episodes and then disappeared. So the point is moot. But if you search Not Another Nerdy Podcast, you want the one that has the Ghostbusters like logo over the logo. It's got that, red cross symbol, whatever, like the Ghostbusters. That's us. And yeah, we have a good time. We're nerds and talk about nerdy stuff, and that's it. But thank you. Yeah, so check at Not Podcast One if you go on X, or formerly known as Twitter, whatever, all that social media. Go on Facebook. Yeah. I update Facebook regularly. Chris and I keep up with that. So if you want to check out our Facebook page, give us a like. We'd appreciate it.
Thanks cool.
Thanks for the plug opportunity.
Of course. And
the IHOP network had such a great logo. It's such a shame that we didn't go further with it, because I was so excited about that.
The person who made that logo is Matt's cousin.
Yeah.
This guy, our other co-host here, Matt. He did all of our stuff. He did the dinner and podcast, a couple of the logos, which were really cool. So cool. Thanks for being on here, and hopefully we can get the IHOP network back together. I mean, there's nothing that says we can't. I've
been bullying Aussie and the Palm to have a reunion show of some sort or another, because I miss those guys.
Oh, I loved Nate. Nate was great. And the Palm was great. They were so good. I used to listen to them on the way home from work all the time. They really enjoyed them.
Such a chemistry, and Russ is just, what a personality. You know what I mean? Such a I don't know. I really enjoyed listening to the two of them, and I was really sad when life happened. They both had children. Russ got married, had a son, Max. And, they just kind of, life took over. They had other things they had to do, and I get it. You can't, pod shouldn't come before life. You got to, it's fun, but you got to make time for family first. You know what I mean?
Well, I called my wife and I said, I'm podcasting. Make sure you keep our daughter at bay. So
right. Keep her out of the room. I'm down in my garage right now. You can see my beer fridge right here next to me. So I'm nice. Where I should be podcasting.
I was doing a live stream the other night by myself on Twisters. That was the official first episode of the Popcorn Bucket.
Oh, nice. I suggest the Bottomless Popcorn Bucket as a title.
Get
it?
Yeah.
The bottomless,
There's something in the bottom. You might not want to find it, but there's something.
That's right. Don't reach too far down.
Yeah, it gets greasy down there.
That's not butter.
But my daughter was banging on the door, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy," and I'm just trying to freaking push through Twisters. Oh, it was awful. I was like, and then there's a Twister, and people died, and I was like, fuck it. But anyway, so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about Beetlejuice. Now, here's the funny. So before my wife comes home, I got to tell you this. So my wife is a very big Beetlejuice fan, and she is dying to see this movie. So,
does she know you saw it without her?
No, I'm going to see it again tonight, and I have to make believe like I've not seen it yet.
I love it.
You've already seen it. You saw it this morning too. It's the same day.
It's fresh in his
mind. I saw it like 3 hours ago.
That's awesome. It's fresh in your mind. I saw it earlier this week. So
that's funny. So I thought that was funny. So we're gonna try to do. Yeah. So we're going to have a non-spoiler section. We're going to have a spoiler section. Then we're going to play a little game with Tom at the end. But first, I think we should talk about the coming attractions that we see before the movie. Now, I didn't tell you about this. I got this idea while I was sitting in the theater.
Yeah.
But Matt,
I think I know where you're going with this.
I'm not going anywhere with it. I'm seriously just want to talk about the coming attractions. Matt, you have a special thing to talk about.
Do you want to talk about the length?
The length of the coming attractions?
The coming attractions.
Oh, well, how long were your coming attractions?
11 minutes.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No, it's very good. This theater is not owned by AMC or Regal, and they just run local ads for 10 minutes, and then they just start the movie. It's awesome.
Oh,
I mean, the theater sucks. Like my screen actually had a hole in it. Like someone kicked it. It was like a big tear in the bottom left.
Is it the
I don't know what
cinema?
happened. It's actually, I heard that's where you saw Avengers Endgame, and then you threw a popcorn bucket at the screen when all the women Avengers came out.
Yes. Yeah, that's right at that scene.
That woke moment.
That's the woke
Oh,
moment. Yeah.
geez. That movie. The more I watch that movie, the more I dislike it.
But yeah, I mean, and it's like really hot in there. It's not pleasant, but it's cheap, and there's no coming attractions, and it's 5 minutes from my house.
So like, what were the ads? Were they like, Merrimack Toyota or something like that?
Yeah.
Is
It's
it-
like they have an ad for themselves. They showed the Bob Dylan one, and then there was like an ad for like elderly insurance management, and then the movie started.
Okay. That's amazing because I got there this was the first movie of the day for my theater. It was noon, and I was the first car that parked. I got there at like 11:30 because I had to do something first. I went right there. So I waited till a couple of other cars came before I was the first one in the place, and I sat down probably 10 to 12, and the movie didn't start till 12:32, which really I didn't know if I was going to get here on time. But thankfully, everyone was kind of running late today, so that helped out a little bit. But I had, let me see, I want to count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had 8 coming attractions. How long did you have to wait, Tom?
Oh my God. So a half hour of coming attractions at my local Regal cinema. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. It's like when I saw Deadpool and Wolverine, it was almost a 3-hour movie to begin with. And then they had a half hour of attractions on the front of that. I mean, that was a long time to sit in the movie theater.
And then they kick you in the teeth with the Nicole Kidman extra 5-minute. This is the cinema.
Yes.
And then
Thanks,
you're just
thanks, Nicole.
just like, let's go.
Right.
And there's another one before Kidman.
If I go to one of those theaters, I show up late. I know it's not starting on time.
Right.
I know I have at least 25 minutes, especially if it's a big movie.
That's the move. If there's no previews you're excited to see, then that's when you go to concessions and grab all your stuff while those are running. So
I'm done with concessions too. I bring my own stuff. I used to work at that theater too. No one's telling me anything.
Right.
I walked in with a banana. I didn't even want it. It was it was noon.
Interesting choice, Matt.
It was. I saw it.
They're like,
did you walk out with a banana?
They're like, is that a banana in your pocket, or did you want to get in for free?
Yeah. Maybe both.
No, it wasn't. It was noon. I didn't want to have like 4 Kit Kats at noon. I just wanted to have.
I ate a large popcorn before the movie started by myself. The whole thing. I love popcorn, but it was noon. It wasn't breakfast yet anymore. So
it was a
I
snack.
felt okay about it. Yeah. Well, the first one that came onto my screen was Mufasa. Anybody see the coming attractions for Mufasa?
Yes.
What you think? Besides the fact that the bad lions are white lions, which I thought was interesting.
No comment on it. Just interesting.
What are they? Albino lions?
Albino lion? I don't know, but they were obviously white furred lions, right? Like who are the tiger people with the white tigers? Simon and Garfunkel,
Siegfried and Roy. Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah, those guys. No, but these were
they
white
in the
lions. Movie? Oh, that would be great. One of them's dead, aren't they?
I think they're both dead. I think they got killed by the lions.
Yeah,
one definitely did. Yeah.
But it looks terrible, and who cares? Who wants to see Mufasa? That's what.
Especially, it's not being voiced by James Earl Jones. Who gives a shit?
Right. And I kind of noticed that at the beginning, like all the voice actors were British, like very British. And I would think in today's day and age of Disney in 2024, they would have like African people voice the lions in Africa. But I'm
not sure if you know this. The English and the British don't exactly have a great reputation in Africa.
Right. Yeah.
Especially South Africa.
South Africa, yeah. So that's a weird choice too.
Yeah.
But I never once watched The Lion King and thought, oh, I really wonder how Mufasa got here.
Right. I mean, we all know how the movie ends, right? I mean,
I was just going to say that.
We know Scar's going to become an asshole. Like there's no surprises here.
Yeah. Exactly. So I don't know. They are just going through all the movies to try to make as much money as they can. Nothing original is coming out of any place except maybe one or two, which I have on the list here. The next
I
one.
can't wait for when
Anybody
they
else?
make Ursula the movie, and we found out she was bullied in high school, and we're supposed to feel
Right.
bad for her. Yeah.
Right. Triton bullied her and picked on her, and that's why she hated him so much. And Ariel's mom like stole her boyfriend in high school and fucked her over, and that's why she had to. Oh, can I swear? Are we allowed to swear on here?
I think so. I think we're okay. I'm just
All
as long as YouTube doesn't care. I don't care.
Yeah, sorry. My podcast is explicit, so I just let my freak flag fly. But I want to respect your boundaries. So if
I have no boundaries, I'm within the boundaries of YouTube.
Yeah, I'm not even though I'm a truck driver, I don't have a mouth like a trucker, but every now and again I will let an F-bomb fly. So I just want to make sure we're good.
No, we're good. We're good. All right, so that's Mufasa. The next one that came on my screen was Red One. You guys see this? The new Rock movie?
Is this the one about Santa Claus?
Yes.
Yeah.
So The Rock is like the protector of Santa Claus, who is the guy who is Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons.
J. Jonah Jameson. He's like
he was
the protector
also
of Santa Claus.
Police Commissioner Gordon in the Snyderverse.
Yes.
Yes.
He gets around that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And Chris Evans is in this for some reason. Not sure why.
Well, he's making this sudden comeback. He showed up in Deadpool and Wolverine. No one expected that, and now all of a sudden he's everywhere.
He was really good in that, actually.
He was. It was a fun cameo.
Him.
Yeah, it was fun.
You guys excited to see Red One, or are you going to even attempt to see it? I'm probably going to skip it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, movies about Santa Claus don't really hold weight with me anymore since I found out the truth. Spoiler alert.
That's sad, Tom.
I know.
I used to love all this. Just kind of looks like my dad, so I just get distracted the whole time. He really looks like my dad.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I mean, I know your dad. I never got J.K. Simmons out of him.
It's kind of creepy once you see it, but he's always once you see him without the mustache, then you're like, oh, geez.
Yeah. So Santa Claus gets kidnapped. The Rock and Chris Evans have to go after him, and they fight Krampus, whoever that fictional Christmas evil demon is.
The evil Santa Claus.
Yeah. And I don't know if they fight Krampus or they're trying to get help from him, but that's the whole thing. They have to try to get Red One. That's it. That's like Santa's code name is Red One.
Right, like Air Force One or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Another movie that I'm probably going to pass on is Venom: Last Dance.
Oof, man, does that look uninteresting?
Right?
Oh,
I don't even. So the gist of the movie is that whatever sent the symbiote to Earth is now trying to hunt Venom. Something sent
trying to come back and get the symbiotes.
Yeah, something sent the symbiotes on purpose. And now they're trying to kill Venom.
Mm-hmm.
And
does anybody care? I mean, do any of us care?
No. I didn't see the second one. I never saw it. I liked the first one. The first one was okay.
Yeah, the first one was.
It was fine.
I don't really care about any of the symbiotes outside of Venom. So, even Carnage is a little bit of a stretch for me.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
The symbiote in this movie looks like the alien from Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
What are they called?
The xenomorph.
The xenomorph. Yeah, they kind of look like they're very xenomorphic looking. Mm. But it's just he takes over a couple of animals. Like he takes over a horse in one, which is a cool visual, I guess. If you're gonna do and I don't know if that's kind of copying the comics, because didn't they do a Venomized comic where Venom just took over everybody?
Yeah,
in their own comics. So you had like Venomized Captain America and Venomized
Wolverine
and X-23, and so wasn't interested in that. Another one was Wicked, which this is one of my favorite Broadway plays. To be honest, I gotta say this is one of the good plays, and this trailer gets a lot of shit, and I don't know why, because I think it reminds me exactly of the play. I don't know why people are so on this about being woke. It's obviously about a girl who doesn't fit in because of her skin color. I mean, there's no
And
way to really
everyone loved the
twist
play.
that.
It looks
Yeah.
pretty honest, right?
Right. So I don't understand the hate that this trailer gets.
I think that
I'm not gonna say.
the people that like it are exceptionally annoying because a lot of them
Yeah.
are like super uber theater people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I know
Well,
I know like a friend of mine. He had like a very good voice in high school, so he was always subjected to be around the theater people, and he would just vent to me for hours. He's like, "Dude, they just don't shut up about freaking the Phantom of the Opera, and they're just annoying, and they sing all the
They
time."
sing all the time. Yeah. Like
So
life is a musical.
yeah, like life's a musical, and he's just like, so it's easier to hate. Like the same reason that Taylor Swift gets all that hate. I think it's kind of the same thing because I don't really think her music is very bad at all. Just all those people are psychopaths.
Yeah.
So it
Her
makes
her
it
fan
kind of
base
unattractive.
makes it unbearable. Yeah, I agree.
Like a toxic fandom.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
But they
End
would
the
call us.
episode right now. We're not going to get any smoother than that. That was.
I was going to say.
So I'm probably not going to see that either. I'll probably my wife will want to see that, but I'll make her wait till it comes out on Superbox. I mean,
I
video.
think Ariana Grande as Glinda the Good Witch is an annoying casting. I don't know.
Yeah, but she's supposed to be annoying, Glenda, isn't she?
Yeah,
She's supposed to be pretty annoying.
She's not supposed to be hot. Ariana Grande is hot, so it throws me off.
She is hot. I'm trying to get a sponsor from Superbox. Hopefully they're listening. I brought them up on 4 different shows. You know what Superbox is, Tom?
No, tell me what it is.
Superbox is a little device.
Tell all the listeners and viewers what Superbox is, Mav.
Superbox is a little device that HDMIs right into your TV and hooks up to your internet and gives you any program that you want in the world. Just about.
Oh, cool.
It's amazing.
So it's like a broken Roku or something.
It's a broken Roku that you can buy on Amazon.
Nice.
Absolutely. $300 on Amazon. It hooks up. You can watch any baseball game in the country, no matter where you are. You can watch any football. It has pay-per-view on it. That has a lot of issues because it buffers a lot. But the sports channels are great, and the movies that has streaming and live TV. It's great. I don't know why people are paying for anything. Superbox.
No. I cut the cord on cable long ago. I'm done.
Yeah.
I actually used Superbox last night.
Where were you?
I was at my local pub. They have Superbox, and we won a lot of money betting on the Texas Rangers.
Nice.
They went down 4-1, and we all took them live.
Local pub, excuse me. I'm going to go to my local pub real quick.
There you go. The Kenmore.
Yeah, so Superbox and FanDuel. Reach out. We're all ears.
There you go. FanDuel.
If we could hand out free play, that'd be great.
Dude, FanDuel will literally give anybody an endorsement. They want their name out there everywhere.
I will wear a FanDuel t-shirt every single episode if you provide me one.
That's right.
There you go. Next up, Sonic 3. It looks cool. My son really loves the first one and the second one. Yep. So I'm going to take him. I'll definitely take him to this one. I found nothing wrong with the first two. I thought they were very entertaining.
Yep.
No message pushing or anything like that. It was just a good old fashioned kids movie, which I liked. So,
yep. And Jim Carrey was actually entertaining and not super annoying in the movies.
Yeah. That's hard for him these days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he's got
he's built for Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, he's got that down.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the Sonic movies. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guilty pleasure.
What do you think about Keanu Reeves as Shadow?
Is he playing Shadow?
Yeah, he's voicing Shadow. That's fine. I'm a Keanu Reeves fan, so
I love Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
Yeah,
he's got a band. He's pretty cool.
He's got a very distinct voice, so it'll lend well to that character. It'll be good.
Is Shadow in any of the video games, or is he just made up for the movie, Matt?
Yeah, no, he's a big video game character. Like in the second wave of Sonic, like after
Knuckles,
2D, after like the 2D stuff, when they become 3D, Shadow becomes a very big character.
Okay,
he actually has his own game.
Does he?
He's enlisted. Yeah, he's enlisted by the president to go on secret missions. It makes no sense.
No,
It's one of the worst reviewed games ever, but he's a fan favorite.
Wow.
And he
Shows
looks
how-
cool. They did a good job.
Yeah, he looks
Shows how far removed I am. Next one, I don't know anything about this game. I don't know anything about this movie. All I know is Jason Momoa is dressed up like a lady or a girl, little girl.
God.
Minecraft.
God.
More like Mine's F. But
That's a teaser trailer. Like, what are you teasing? A shitty movie? Like, what are you giving me? That trailer shows nothing, and what it does show is awful. Jack Black materializes. I am Steve. What am I? I'm supposed to give a shit? Like,
I think that's like the main character in Minecraft. I've never played Minecraft.
Yeah, Steve is like the yeah. Oh my god.
Is that the original test footage from Snow White and the Seven People, whatever it was called?
What is that wig that Jason Momoa is wearing? What's happening?
What are all of them wearing?
The only thing I want to know about is what Jason Momoa's character is. That's the only thing I want to know about this entire movie. Uh-oh. My battery's dying on my light. Talk amongst yourselves.
I thought like maybe this movie like is like a farce. That's the only thing I could see it have it going for it, is if it's like intentionally bad. I this looks like there's nothing redeeming going on here.
I mean, both of my kids are into Minecraft. They love that game, and they love watching YouTubers play that game for some stupid reason. I don't understand that at all. But that's what, rather than play games themselves or opening toys, my kids would rather watch YouTube videos of other people playing video games and opening toys. It's mind-boggling to me. Kids make no sense nowadays. They make zero sense. But anyway, they love Minecraft, but they will have no interest in this movie. And then like the Minecraft characters that they show, like, you know, the llama or whatever chewing the grass, and then the arrow falls at its foot and it stops, and then it just keeps continuing to chew grass. Like, who cares? Like, show a cool Minecraft character, like a creeper or something. I don't know. I don't get it. It makes no sense. For a teaser trailer, it's loud. It's the worst teaser trailer I've ever seen. It doesn't make me want to see the next trailer. The teaser trailer is supposed to make you want to see the next trailer and then ultimately see the movie. And this teaser trailer makes me never want to see anything else to do with this movie. It's awful.
If this was in terms of a tease, this was a bad pickup line. Yeah, this wasn't very good.
Terrible.
This was like, did it hurt when you fell from heaven level tease. This is not good.
It's like you're not tickling my ass with a feather. You're tickling it with like a razor. Like, what are you doing? This is terrible. Ouch.
Oh, man.
You can't take.
No, that's fine. No, that's good. That's very descriptive. Everyone knew exactly what you meant by that.
You felt that one, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I don't know anything about the game. Like, I've never played it. I've never seen I don't let my son play it. He plays the other one with the other shooting game. I'm so old.
Fortnite?
What the hell's the other one? Fortnite. He plays that one. Yeah. He loves
that
one.
Why isn't there a movie about that yet? You would think that would have been made into a major motion picture by now.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll get there.
Oh, I'm sure they will, but I'm just surprised that hasn't been fast tracked with the popularity of the Sonic movies, and then Super Mario Brothers was a huge hit, and
because that was actually a good movie.
It was, and Jack Black was in that too. Ironically enough, I guess that's his new thing, being in video game movies.
Well, he does the video game stuff online. He has like a gaming channel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's one of the guys that actually plays Minecraft and streams it.
He's probably a producer of this thing, this piece of shit.
I looked on their IMDb page. This is never a good sign. There's like 12 producers and like I think like 7 or 8 writers, which means that that's 2 drafts from these guys, and then it's 2 more from those guys. So this is like the 9th. There's probably 12 drafts of this crappy movie, and they're just gonna smear 90 minutes worth of crap on the screen.
And you have the angsty, sarcastic teenage girl character like that. Haven't we seen that trope enough? I mean, give me a break. Give me something fresh. Give me something new. Give me a character that is going to interest me.
Well, might be a good transition there, because the movie that we're talking about, its first one, is probably one of the OG snarky, sarcastic teenage girls.
Correct.
You're right. So, all right, then we're going to have to skip my other two coming attractions. The only ones I really cared about, Matt, with your segue.
Oh, sorry. I thought this was the last one. I'm sorry. I got my count wrong.
No, damn it. No, we're going to do them anyway, because you're going to like this one. Saturday night.
The show
Okay,
is.
yeah.
You see how professional we are here at the Toxic Fandom.
We'll get it right one of these days. That's all right. But Matt
Bottomless
was
top
you. That's right. We never stop. But this was one that Matt was super excited to see, because this is actually a film.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Made by like people that it look like they actually want to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
This looks really good.
Are you guys like SNL people, like old SNL people, or
Yes.
I haven't watched SNL in probably 10 years, but I was a very, very big fan of SNL back in the 2010s and before that. Very big
when
fan.
Will Ferrell was on there.
Will Ferrell,
Sherry O'Terry.
I mean, even before that with Chris Farley and Adam Sandler and
David Spade.
all those guys. David Spade. Oh, I love David Spade. Who's the guy?
I actually saw one of those guys at work the other day.
Who?
I got
Chris Farley.
Tim Meadows.
Oh no!
Oh,
shit.
Tim Meadows. He's great.
Yeah. I did a big double
He was
take
on
too. He
there
was walking
forever.
by because I ran the shuttles for the U.S. Open, or a part of it, and I was getting all the people on, and I like double take. I was like, oh shit, that's totally Tim Meadows. And he looked at me and he was like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's go.
He's undercover brother, isn't he? Wasn't that his?
I think he is in that movie.
Yeah, wasn't that his? He had some character from Saturday Night Live that spun off into a movie.
Is it the Ladies Man?
Ladies Man, my bad. You're right. It's the Ladies Man. That's it. He was great.
Yeah.
He was on there for a long time. I think he was on for quite a few seasons. Tim Meadows.
Oh, Tim Meadows was on for a long time.
Yeah, he's not as long as Keenan
Thompson.
That guy's been on there for fucking, it seems like 20 years. But,
he's like the only one I like on that show anymore.
Yeah.
He's really good. He's very, very good. He does a great Steve Harvey. He cracks me up.
He's consistent.
Who is the one?
This movie looks very. This looks like an interesting. It looks like a great period piece, and I also don't know the full story, so that's something that I'm interested to learn about.
Well, I'm curious who wrote this and how factual it'll be. You know what I mean? Like, is it actually produced, or do any of the original cast members have anything to do with this? Would be what I would want to know.
The thing about the original cast is the ones that are still alive are all just kind of insane, right?
Not Dan Aykroyd. He's okay.
He he believes in aliens and that they were communicating with aliens. And...
He's a little insane.
Okay. Doesn't he have like a booze? Doesn't he have his own booze now or something?
He does.
Yeah, he thinks aliens helped him make the booze.
Yeah.
Oh, alien juice.
He's like, these are alien crystals that.
Yeah, crystal. Is it Crystal Skull vodka or something?
That's it. Yeah.
Huh.
Belushi's passed away. Chevy Chase is like out of his mind these days. Apparently,
he's like a gigantic asshole, and that comes through in this movie. So I'm actually looking forward to that part, because as much as I like Chevy Chase as a comedian and Funny Farm, still one of the greatest movies ever. All the vacation movies are classics, but I could see how he would be a major asshole. I totally get that vibe from him in interviews and stuff. And he had a feud with Howard Stern for years. Like, he's just, I'm eager to see how they portray him in the movie.
I'm not a big fan of the guy who played What About Bob? What's his name? I'm
Bill Murray?
I don't like Bill Murray.
Come on.
I never liked him in anything. I liked him in What About Bob, but
what about Ghostbusters?
I'm not a huge Ghostbusters fan in general. I know. I've got to lose my nerd card or something, but
no, that's all right.
I was never really into that movie. The other guys, Joe and Sebi and Mike, that's like their favorite stuff. I love the cartoon as a kid. The cartoon was like my favorite thing, and I had the proton pack, and I had all the toys. But from the cartoon, I never liked the movie. Always felt like it was too mature for me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, I was like, should I be watching this kind of thing?
What about Meatballs?
I've never seen Meatballs.
It's a good Bill Murray movie. He's a camp counselor.
How about John Stripes? That's a good film. Yeah, Stripes is
Stripes. I've seen Stripes. That's a good movie.
Well, you would definitely like
That's a good movie.
Yeah, because
yeah.
that's
There's
got
boobs
John
in it, right?
Candy, Harold Ramis. That's
Yeah.
There are boobs.
There are boobs. And the last one that this one I'm really excited to see. F1. It's a Brad Pitt movie. It's by Apple. It's an Apple production. See if I can get the picture up there for you guys. Here it is.
They've done a pretty good job, I got to say, Apple.
I like their Tom Hanks movie with the tank. Forget the name of that movie because I can't remember anything right now. But
Saving
there was a
Private
Tom Hanks.
Ryan.
No, there was one for Apple that was just about it. It was the name of a tank. Forget the name of it. Somebody looked that up, the listener.
Was it
But that was a good
Valkyrie?
movie. No, that's Tom Cruise.
Oh, you said Tom Hanks. Oh, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Yeah, Tom Hanks.
The other Tom.
No. I'm sorry. It was a Brad Pitt movie. It was a Brad Pitt movie about a tank.
Is that Fury?
Fury. Very good movie.
Once we got to the right actor, I got there.
That unlocked everything for Mav.
Yes.
He figured it out.
But this movie, I'm a very big F1 fan. And I know we have a couple of listeners out there. Will from the old Dudes in Toyland podcast that listens to us. We have a private chat with another one of our listeners, Joe DeZeo, and we have like a fantasy draft every year with F1 drivers, and we kind of do that together and we watch it every weekend. It's really cool. But it's a fiction movie because when the movie opens up, there's a female car engineer, so you know that it's going to be a fiction movie. But I can't wait to see it. I really can. It's about such a jerk. F1 drivers.
Hey, I'm gonna predict. Ready? Brad Pitt sleeps with the female engineer before the end. I'm just gonna call that one. Yeah, I don't know anything about the movie, but that's.
And he's only gonna win because of something that she invented for the car. Yeah.
Can it go any other way?
You came in all excited about this, and now you're all cynical about the female engineer.
Being realistic. He's trying to be realistic.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm gonna watch this movie. I'm excited about it, but I'm also ready to be disappointed with unrealistic feminism. Sorry,
forced feminism.
Forced feminism. Sure, put it that way.
That's a better term.
Yeah. So, but I am excited about it. So that's gonna do it for the. Unless Tom, did you have any other coming attractions that you saw that we didn't bring up?
Not worth mentioning.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a very quick non-spoilers of Beetlejuice. So now I have to preface this. Beetlejuice. I have to preface this with I haven't seen the first one in a very long time. So I'm not the biggest Tim Burton fan. I like Batman 89. I like Nightmare Before Christmas. But other than those two movies, I'm not an Edward Scissorhands fan. I've seen it, but I don't dislike it, but I'm not a fan, like a big fan of it.
Did you like Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Oh, that movie made me feel so icky as a kid.
Yeah, but
like, it's a classic, and I watched it multiple times as a child.
Quotable movies, you know what I mean? Like in terms of quoting movies, it's definitely a very quotable movie.
Large Marge sent you. You ever eat Large Marge, Tom?
Oh yeah,
in your profession?
Oh sure, yeah.
She was a truck driver, right?
She was.
Yes.
Yeah, she her truck went over a cliff. Oh. And when they pulled the mangled body out of the twisted, burning wreck, it looked like this, man. That great claymation moment. I love it.
Well, this movie had plenty of that. Plenty of that.
I will say, without getting into spoilers, that one thing I definitely appreciated about this movie is it kept a lot of the sensibilities and tone of the original. It's tried to stay true to the original feel and look of Beetlejuice. So I appreciate it.
It felt like Beetlejuice, I got to say.
Yeah.
It felt like you were watching, an extension of the original movie.
Right. Yeah. Because they've definitely made leaps and bounds in terms of what they can do with CGI and technology. And Tim Burton basically said, fuck all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
he hasn't in the last 15 years. So I was really shocked and thrilled with the restraint he showed and not doing that. Right.
Right. Yeah. He could have did it like an updated version and we didn't get that. And it felt better, I think. Yeah. A CGI heavy Beetlejuice sequel would have not made sense to me.
Yeah. And there was no message being pushed, which was great. It was just to go to the movies and have fun with it. And there's a lot less of that nowadays.
Mhm.
And I think Deadpool was one of those movies where you can just go to the movies and have fun. Top Gun Maverick was one of those, just go to the movies and have fun. Barbie even, I think, was looked at like that. Just go to the movies and have fun.
I
I
still
didn't see
haven't seen that. I have daughters, and I
Yeah.
haven't seen that movie. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I haven't seen it
As
either.
hot as
but
Margot Robbie is, I just don't. I don't know. It's not that I
So you
wouldn't
had-
watch it. I just haven't had an instance or a time to watch it, and it's not something I would go out of my way to watch. But I guess if I turned on the TV and it was on for free, I'd probably watch it.
if you had a super box, you might watch it.
Hey, nice plug there.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you. A lot of the original cast was in the movie. We had Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. We had Winona Ryder as Lydia. We had what's his face's mom from Home Alone,
Catherine
Oh, my
O'Hara as
Catherine
Delia.
O'Hara as Delia. Very thank you.
Yeah.
Was that every returning character? Were there some others?
Yes.
Who?
And no, that was all the returnings, I think.
Oh,
The realtor woman was a returning character. She was a young girl, Lydia's age in the original movie.
Gotcha.
I don't remember her name, but she shows up with her daughter at the house. Well, I don't want to spoil it. We're not in spoilers yet, but yeah, she was a returning character from the previous movie. She was a younger girl in the old movie.
I gave this, this wasn't it was a perfect time too, because a lot of movies nowadays are about 20 minutes too long. And this felt like the right length. That's what she said. This felt like it ended exactly when I was expecting it to end, in the way it was supposed to end, and I had fun. I never felt like, because I felt that way with Deadpool Wolverine, where I was like, can this just be over already? Like the last 20 minutes of that movie, I was like, I'm done with the fight scenes. I'm done with the stupid storyline. I had fun with Hugh Jackman and all that stuff. I just want to get out of here. And the last 20 minutes wasn't needed. With this movie, I didn't feel that at all.
Right.
Thanks.
I'm with you.
Great commentary.
No, I was just thinking about saying, I was just trying to think, like, I agree with all those points. I just don't know who it's like for. Like, would you recommend like like a 17-year-old high schooler? Would you be like, oh, go check out this movie? Is this movie only for us?
This
like
movie is only for people that watched and liked Beetlejuice. If you, I
think if you didn't see the first movie and you weren't already a fan, this movie might not make a whole hell of a lot of sense, because a lot of the themes in this movie are taken directly from that first movie, especially Charles. It's the spoiler alert. The basis of the movie is Charles Dietz dies, and they go back to the original ghost house, the Maitland's house, to have his funeral. And
all right, so here we're gonna put spoilers up.
Hijinks ensue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So no, it's okay. We're just gonna go with spoilers. I always hate when people try to do spoiler-free things, because
it's hard to
just
inevitable. Explain a movie when you can't really talk about it.
I 100% agree with you.
Movie.
Yeah. So go ahead, Tom. You saw this one a while ago. You wanna give us the gist of it?
Okay. So when we last left Lydia Dietz, she was a gothic, angsty teenage girl. And now here we are, fast forward. I'm assuming, did they say it was a 30-year jump?
Yeah.
I don't know if they said it in the movie.
Right.
But
I think it's 30 years later. It's supposed to be 30 years later after the original. And now she is like a ghost whisperer. She's got like her own syndicated TV show, and she talks to ghosts, and she's a psychic medium. I guess that's what they call them, isn't it? And so she has a TV show, and she does the psychic medium thing, and that's kind of where we start our movie. And then she gets word that her father, Charles Dietz, from the original movie, has passed, and that's kind of the setup for what is to follow.
And you guys know why he's the one that they chose, right?
Because he's really dead.
No,
Is he- oh,
no.
is- I was wondering the whole movie.
Betty
I was
wishes-
wondering, did this guy die?
I bet he wishes he was.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does probably wish
is
he was
he-
dead.
Did he touch somebody he shouldn't have?
Uh,
Yes.
he's a registered sex offender, and we'll leave it at that. Yeah, he's.
So when he does, when they do kill him, I was like, how are they going to do this? And and they kind of do it in like the most brutal way possible.
I think
Oh,
that
it's-
was
it's
intentional.
great.
And I think that
And
was very
also,
intentional.
did you like how Tim Burton had like a bunch of young children singing at his funeral? I think that was very intentional as well.
Yes, and the fact that he was a bird, like like young girls are birds, sort of thing. Like I think that there was all like a big, like, I can't believe I ever did business with you, you're asshole. So
Yeah.
For like if you're watching it, if you ever do, well, you're watching it again tonight. So when you're watching it tonight, see if you can find any more other Charles Dietz is a dirty sex offender references in the movie for us. Put them in the chat.
It's funny because I was wondering the whole time. I'm like, this guy must have died because why wouldn't they use him? If he was still around, they would have used him, but he must have died, and I just assumed he passed away in real life. But all
His
right.
career did, but
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
he's still alive. He just he made some very poor life choices, and it's too bad because I am a fan of his work. Like he was the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and he was great in that.
Mhm.
Principal Rooney, and he was the villain. He was the villain in Howard the Duck, which was one of the few redeeming things about that movie. And of course, he's Charles Dietz from the original Beetlejuice, and
right.
but yeah, he made some very poor decisions. That actor. So I did think it was interesting how much they used his likeness, though, in the movie. I was surprised that we saw his face as often as we did. But I loved how they handled his afterlife appearance. That was brilliant, sheer brilliance on part of Tim Burton.
I like the way they told the story of how he died in claymation.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
He ends up dying. He gets eaten by a shark.
And it's great. Well, it's great how they tell it because Delia is explaining to Lydia and she says the plane crashed. And so Lydia's like, oh, so he died from the plane crash? No, he survived the plane crash. He landed in the ocean. Oh, so he drowned? No, he didn't drown. And then they show the shark take a big chunk out of him. Oh my God.
And then the rest of the time you see him in the movie, he's the remains of what the shark didn't eat. So the shark basically just chomped him from the collarbones up,
shoulders down. Yeah.
So it's just, and you see like the tops of his humerus, like the tops of his arms poking out of the shoulders of his shirt. It's so funny. Like it's anatomically correct, which I like.
And what's hilarious too is when he speaks, he's like gurgling because of the blood.
Yeah, it's pouring because
I'm so happy to see you. Like he doesn't realize that his top half is bitten off.
And he's constantly wandering around the afterlife on lines. Like everyone keeps pushing him off on a different department of the underworld, which is pretty funny. Yep. I thought that this movie has a lot going on, and I don't remember the first movie being so complex as far as the storyline goes, because you have to follow Lydia and what she's doing with her boyfriend. You have to follow the daughter and what she's doing with the guy she meets, her boyfriend. You got to follow the Beetlejuice's ex-wife.
Oh my God, Monica Bellucci, man, is
freaking Smoke Show? Jesus, like to open up those friggin' staples. You know what I'm saying?
You can suck my soul anytime, my friend.
Anytime. Damn, she was hot in that movie. But there's a lot of storylines you have to pay attention to, and I don't think it was necessary, to be honest. I think
the whole Beetlejuice's ex-wife thing, that whole storyline, you could have taken out of the movie, shortened that movie by a half an hour. But it was a reason to get Monica Bellucci, super hot Monica Bellucci, in the movie. So I'm okay.
See, I feel you could have left her in and took out the daughter and the boyfriend.
I disagree.
They were the worst part of the movie. Their dialogue was the worst part of that whole movie.
Okay, first of all, can we all agree you could see that coming from a mile away. Like it was very predictable that the boy was going to turn out to be a ghost. I didn't see it.
I did not. I was not in Beetlejuice mode going in.
When they showed, you know what the telltale was? When she went into his house and they didn't show the parents' faces, I'm like, the parents are dead. they're ghosts,
Yeah.
and that means he must be a ghost too.
Well, Tom, we've been watching a lot of Rings of Power on this podcast,
I'm
so
very sorry.
our minds are just completely mushed. So
Yeah.
so anything you probably could have showed me like one of the most obvious twists ever, and I would have been shocked at this point. My brain has just been tailor made to be turned off. So I
Right.
got
Yeah.
caught. But I thought the reveal was cool when they're like floating up, and it's
Mhm.
just like, and then she realizes, then she freaks out. But yeah, their dialogue did suck.
I
was
did
the
like
worst.
the fact that she didn't believe her mom. She thought her mom was full of shit all those years and couldn't
Mhm.
really see ghosts. That I did like. And then
Yeah.
when she finds out her boyfriend's the ghost and she realizes, oh my God, I've been an asshole to my mom, and she wasn't lying this whole fucking time. That was cool. I don't know. I think the Astrid, first of all, I love her.
The actress.
Jenna Ortega.
Jenna Ortega, I'm a fan. So I thought it was
Is that
great.
how she
It was
acts in
perfect
every?
casting, having her be Lydia's daughter.
Is that her acting
Yeah,
ability though?
she's
'Cause
pretty much that
it-
character in
Yeah.
all of
Okay.
her movies. Yeah,
But
that's
she's
her.
a
She
pro.
was-
She's like a
with-
Disney Channel kid. She's just
She was
she knows how to
slightly-
read the lines.
She was slightly
She's
better
great.
than the boy. The boy was terrible.
Yeah.
the
he was
boyfriend.
a clown.
He
Yeah,
was so
and
like
he had that
every
terrible
kid show, every
broccoli
show that
haircut
kids
that
are
all
on.
boys have now.
Yeah, and it was like he was just there for a paycheck, or he's just a very bad actor because he was just delivering those lines so monotonely and boring. Like I did not care at all about that kid.
It's got to be somebody's godson, right?
Yeah, so
he's somehow related to Winona Ryder, and that's how he got
something.
True.
By the way,
So-
she doesn't age. Like I understand
no.
they put a bunch of makeup on her, but she looked great. I mean,
She did look good.
for her age, she looks awesome.
She has sounded like a 98-year-old woman since she was 17, though. It's kind of amazing. It's like, every time I hear her, all I can hear her doing is the Edward Scissorhands old lady voice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like when she gets a little bit shrill like that, I'm like,
when the old lady is narrating the story. Yeah.
Yes, it's all I can hear is that. Oh, and Edward, like that's all I can hear. But I think the real show stealer was Beetlejuice himself. I thought that every scene he was in, I was glued.
He was great,
Michael
and you
Keaton-
wanted to keep seeing him.
Yeah. I mean, he it was like he never left the character. I mean, 30 years after the fact, it was like he never took that suit off. It was pretty impressive how easily and effortlessly he went back into Beetlejuice mode. And one cool thing that I read that I did not realize, he only agreed to do the movie if they kept the minutes of Beetlejuice to, I think it was around 17 minutes. He said in the first Beetlejuice, he only appears on screen for like 17 minutes of the entire movie throughout. And he wanted that same formula for the sequel. He didn't want it to be too much Beetlejuice. He wanted, because when Beetlejuice shows up, it's like a big moment. So, limit that. Don't have an hour and a half of Beetlejuice. You're going to get sick of the character. And
that was actually the only note I wrote in the whole movie was perfect amount of Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Because you watch those new Halloween ones, and Michael Myers is on screen for like 2 hours. It's like the characters, you have to see them. Hannibal Lecter is only in Silence of the Lambs for like 11 minutes.
Right.
Like that's why these characters become iconic. If you just
And one of the things that makes Halloween such a scary movie is the feeling
Anticipation.
that he's around.
Yeah.
You don't want to see him all the time. You want to know, you want to think he might be there. Oh, and he's not there, but your blood is pumping because you think he's going to appear. You know what I mean? If he's always on screen, it's not scary anymore.
Right.
Or in this case,
Beetlejuice
hilarious.
Yeah, Beetlejuice was great.
I mean, the face. I audibly laughed when they show Willem Dafoe's cop actor character was also great. And he shows Beetlejuice the picture of his ex-wife, and he makes that big, loud, screaming face, and he's like, "No, I've never seen that person in my life." Like that's perfect.
Classic.
How about the when he finally takes Lydia and Murray? Was that the fiance's name? Rory.
Yeah.
He was so funny, dude. He was one of my favorite characters in this movie.
Yeah, he was great.
He was so funny.
He played a perfect douchebag.
Yeah. When they got her and him into the office and he's like explaining to them why
Couples counseling.
Yeah, couples counseling. And he impregnates Lydia with a friggin' Beetlejuice baby.
Amazing.
Like I could see the woke crowd having a big problem with that because technically I'm pretty sure she got raped at that moment. And then out comes this little demon Beetlejuice, which was fucking phenomenal.
Oh my
that was
God.
such a good
He's a legs kid, just like his old man.
Yeah.
Great lines in the movie.
And then we saw him again at the end, which was pretty. Was there an after credit scene? Because I didn't stick around. I was hoping to get home.
Nope.
I looked it up when it ended. I just looked. You can just look that up on the internet now.
Yeah.
Was there a post credit scene? And I was like, nope, and I right out the door. Threw my banana peel out and everything.
It didn't need an after credit scene. It ended perfectly.
Yeah. What was the stitched up lady's name? Like her character name was her name like Darla? What was her name?
Jeez. She was just Monica Bellucci to me the whole time.
Oh, hot.
Yeah.
Hot as hell.
Hot as hell.
Frankenbabe.
I like
call her Frankenbabe.
Frankenbabe. We got the backstory of Beetlejuice, which was pretty cool. Did we know that prior to the movie?
No.
So
I always thought he was a demon from the first movie. I always thought he was a demon, and then we find out that he was at one point human, and he was a grave robber, which is appropriate. I think that's appropriate for him.
Yeah, maybe being the demon is his punishment for grave robbing.
Right.
You know, maybe that's how he got put into being a demon.
Right.
But yeah, he was a grave robber back in like the Black Plague time period.
Yep.
And they were just dumping bodies into the mass graves, and he was just like going through people's mouth looking for gold teeth and stuff like that. And
awesome.
Yeah, it was great. And then
perfect backstory.
I'm gonna call her Darla. We're just gonna go with Darla. I don't know if that's her name or not. But Matt, why don't you look that up while we're talking?
I think it was Doreen. Does Doreen?
I know it starts with a D.
Yeah,
definitely starts with a D. But she comes along and marries him, and they have a little romp in the castle, and like Dracula's castle, and then she goes to suck his soul, or she poisons him, right?
She poisons him, yeah.
And then it just goes away. It like cuts to a different scene, and you never find out what happens after that. Because apparently what happened? Did I miss it?
He grabs an axe and he hacks her up. That's why she was in pieces.
Oh, but he didn't die from the poison, or does he die? Did they both die?
Yeah, subsequently they kill each other. That's basically what happens. She poisons him, and as he's dying, he hacks her up into pieces, and then they.
Her name is Dolores, by the way.
Dolores.
Fucking Seinfeld reference.
Yeah.
What
is never explained though is how she ends up in storage boxes.
Right.
I don't.
Well, that's Danny DeVito. Is Danny DeVito like an inventory kind of guy?
No, he was a custodian.
He's the janitor.
Yeah, he's the janitor in the afterlife.
Right. Yeah. So does he like he?
That was a cool cameo. I didn't know he was in this, so that was a nice. Surprise.
I was surprised not to see him again in the movie. I thought we'd see him more, but that was a cool cameo.
Yeah. I love the way that she kills the people, and they turn into like little shrinkage people.
Yeah, she literally sucks them dry, and they shrivel up.
And they have the tiny caution tape around them. That was a great detail.
The body outline on the laundromat guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Hopefully that this inspires a movement back to like these funny little practical effects, because it had so much life, and it wasn't CGI, so it all looked the underworld or the afterworld, whatever you want to call it, all looked awesome. Every time you were in there, it was something to look at or something to like notice or pick up on.
And the cool thing about it too is even though it was those old school practical effects, it didn't feel dated. You know what I mean? Like he managed to modernize it, but keep that aesthetic feel of the original. And I'll tell you what, I know you said you're not a Tim Burton fan, Mav, but you got to give the guy credit for what he did with this movie visually. I mean, I
give him credit for all the movies. They're just not my thing, but I appreciate what he does.
Yeah,
I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I think that's a cool idea. It's a cool concept. I think there should have been more movies with the other worlds in it. I thought that would have been cool. Like all the different trees in that movie and the different
Easter one, or
yeah.
I mean, they never did a sequel to that, which is surprising. But
I'm trying to look up the budget here.
That you don't really need to do a sequel to.
The budget for this movie was $100 million
For Beetlejuice Beetlejuice?
For Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, and it's so far in its opening weekend, it made 153 million.
Yeah, so they're gonna be knocking on Michael Keaton and Tim Burton's door to do a third one, I guarantee you. And it would make sense because once again, you say his name 3 times and he appears. So maybe, Beetlejuice. It should be a trilogy, and in the finale, he finally gets, whatever lays him to rest. Well, it's interesting because I was wondering if they were going to address what happened to Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis's characters, the Maitlands. And they do. Lydia explains to her daughter that the Maitlands found a loophole and moved on in the afterlife. So they it was a real quick aside, but she explained that. And
do you think that's a Soul Train?
Oh, the Soul Train.
Yeah, they must have went on the Soul Train. Right. So I'm wondering if they could do that with a third Beetlejuice. He finally moves on and ascends into the afterlife, the great beyond or whatever they called it. That would be a nice way to tie it all up.
Do you think that was a dig at Alec Baldwin? How he found a loophole to get out of shooting somebody in the face?
I don't think so.
Oh no, I don't think that was. I mean, it's interesting you took it that way, but I don't think that was intended.
As soon as they said that line, I knew that was coming on this podcast, Tom.
Poor Alec Baldwin. I actually look like Alec Baldwin, so I'm offended by that, Steve.
Maybe in the third one they can Pretty Woman Beetlejuice.
Oh, I like that idea.
They can spruce him up.
Well, it's funny because
he gel in his hair, he shaves, and Astrid tries to hook her up with Lydia, and they can finally be together.
He gets all the moss and mold off his skin there.
Yeah. All the Bobs are helping him get dressed.
Oh, poor Bob, man. That bummed me out. That was the one part of the movie I seriously.
Yeah.
Nope. I was a Bob fan.
Bob was great in this movie.
Yeah, he was. He had a lot.
All the Bobs are good. Are they all called Bob, or are they all have different names?
Oh, no, in the credits they name them all.
Do they really?
Yeah, they each
I think the joke was they were all the names of the producers.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Who also producer on this movie was Brad Pitt.
Get out.
Unless there's 2 Brad Pitts.
Old Fury himself.
Oh.
Huh.
Everything comes back around. Did anybody feel like
have a cameo?
Yeah. Maybe he did. I thought I saw a cameo of somebody in there, and I can't remember who it was. There was somebody in one of the hallways of the underworld that I was like, oh, that's a cameo. I wonder if they're actually in the original or not, but I can't remember who it was. I should have written it down. But did anybody feel like the ending was kind of rushed with the how she got out of having to marry him at the end?
Yes.
So Lydia was supposed to marry. Lydia had went into an agreement with Beetlejuice to marry him as long as he helps her save Astrid, her daughter, in the underworld, who was tricked into the underworld by her boyfriend. I forget his name.
The ghost.
Ghost. Jeremy. Wow, you got a good memory there. And then at the end, the whole thing, worked out, and Beetlejuice saved Astrid, and then they're in the church, and he's trying to marry Lydia, and Astrid was just like, well, there's a clause in that book where, you illegally took her to the underworld, so contract void. And that was it. In 30 seconds, the whole movie got wrapped up in a nice, pretty little bow.
Yeah. I felt like the best part of that movie was that sequence where they're running around in the underworld. That should have been the ending. The ending should have been Astrid getting rescued and Jeremy getting his comeuppance, because that was great when Beetlejuice is at the window and he goes, stamps the thing and goes, "You're fucked," or whatever he says.
Yeah.
I laughed. That was a good laugh.
He dropped the one F-bomb that gave that movie a PG-13 rating. That's why it had the PG-13.
And they had to bleep out the other one.
Yeah, because you're only allowed one F-bomb. One F-bomb to get PG-13, otherwise you're R. So they had to bleep the other F-bomb. But yeah, it was an appropriate F-bomb, and then he falls down into hell, which I thought was great. They actually showed that there is a hell there in the afterlife, and he burned up, so that was fun. But yeah, that should have been the ending. Then they extended it to that whole wedding scene, which was entertaining.
The song was not entertaining when they were
Arthur Park.
They did the whole song.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a little bit of it. It was like 2-3 minutes of it.
Someone left the cake out in the rain, Mav.
That's something that the goth people that really like these movies, if they didn't do that gimmick, they probably like the real, like the super fans. I think all of us are in agreement. We didn't really need that.
No.
But the super fans
I
would have
mean,
been
it was a
but they
nice.
didn't do the thing,
It was a nice throwback to when in the original Beetlejuice he had them all singing Deo,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And then doing the dancing and stuff. And
That
they
song
could
is fun
control
though. This
themselves.
song wasn't
Right.
fun.
Yeah, yeah, that was an odd choice.
Yeah.
Those lyrics always bothered me. I don't know. I don't think I can bake it. I'll never have that recipe again. I'm just like, what? Nothing against Donna Summer. She's great, but
yeah,
may she rest in peace.
But then at the end, Lydia has a nightmare about Beetlejuice. So it gives you the hint that he's not gone.
A double nightmare.
A double nightmare. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But did you notice when she wakes up from the second nightmare and she looks over, there's an imprint on the pillow, like he was
like
actually
someone was there,
like someone slept there. Yeah.
That was
that's
subtle.
why I think we should get a Beetlejuice. I mean,
I think that's inevitable, Tom.
Yeah, it was especially it's making, it's already made over its budget. It's it's not like it's got a lot of competition right now. What else is in the movie theater that we give a crap about?
Yeah, and I will see it. I'm excited for it. Even I'll say that much.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So out of 5 popcorn buckets, what would you give Beetlejuice?
That's a nice 3.5.
3.5.
That's strong. I'm going to give it. I agree with Matt. 3.5. I think it could be a 4. I'll lean closer to 4 because it really it ticked all my boxes that I wanted from a Beetlejuice sequel, and I really love how they handled Charles Dietz's death and afterlife. That was brilliant. That alone gives it like a full 1.5. I mean, that was really well done. And then I like the visual of it. I like that it wasn't heavy CGI. I think even the sandworm was practical. I don't even think that was CGI. So, yeah, I'll say 3.5 to 4.
I'll go 3.25 stars because
buckets, popcorn buckets.
I'll give 3. Oh yeah, 3.5 popcorn buckets. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. Bottomless one.
Yes, exactly. Because I think for me, I can't look past story plot holes kind of things, and like I think they kind of rushed through that ending. They kind of rushed through the ending of his ex-wife. Like all of that came to a very abrupt end, but it was such an enjoyable. I'll give it 3.5. It was really an enjoyable movie.
I will agree with you on the ex-wife part.
Yeah,
the sandworm eating her and Rory was a very convenient way to tie that up.
Yeah.
What shirt is he wearing?
Oh yeah, I know he's wearing the puffy shirt.
He says
I don't want to be a pirate.
It said I love Dolores.
Oh, I love Dolores. Yeah. That was great.
Shirt, and he's like,
I got you, guy, right here.
But like they did Beetlejuice perfect. Like they did the character perfect. They did Lydia perfect. If they took out the daughter and the boyfriend, or even just the boyfriend part, like I could have dealt with Astrid. She was fine. She's playing the angsty teen. She's playing the new Winona Ryder character, I guess.
So that was the MacGuffin, though, because like you had to get Astrid into the underworld, afterlife, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So that they could rescue her, right? I mean, that was the point at the end there.
She
had to have some reason to go, and she had to have some reason to agree to marry Beetlejuice and get him involved. He ended up being the hero, which I thought was hilarious.
Right. I like that. I actually like that Beetlejuice was very helpful in this movie.
I'm telling you, they should hook these two up in the next movie. Let's spruce this guy up.
Let's get those crazy kids together already.
Yeah, it's only a 600-year age difference.
I was hoping that he was going to hook up with Lydia's mom.
Yeah, she died. Yeah, Delia dies. So, yeah. I thought that was a nice way to end her arc,
Yeah. Why did she have snakes again? What was she going to do with that? She was going to
some Egyptian. She said that they use asps in Egypt when Egyptian women go to mourn their pharaohs, their fallen pharaohs, and she, you know how she is. That's the one cool thing about her character is it stayed true to her character. Like she's always been that artsy fartsy wackadoo, and so it made sense that she would do something outlandish and extravagant like that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was perfect that the asps were actually venomous and ended up fighting her and killing her. I'm like, that is just the perfect ending to her story.
Yeah, I thought at the end that if Lydia didn't want to marry him, he would just marry her.
Yeah.
And they would live in the underworld. But she was really, she wanted to go back and see Mr. Dietz.
She loved Charles, even
Yeah.
though he's a pervert in real life.
Right. Yeah. So,
Sorry.
That's all right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us for this episode of the Popcorn Bucket. Tom, I had a great time.
We would all recommend this movie, correct?
I would absolutely recommend this movie.
Yeah.
I might even see it again. Wink, wink.
I would say it's a worthy sequel. A lot of sequels are not worthy. This is a worthy sequel. 30 years in
3 more hours. I'm going to see this again. But
and as far as Mrs. Mav is concerned, it's your first time seeing it.
That's right. That's right. Tom, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you again?
You can find us on social media at, that's the little, symbol. I don't know what it's called. What is that called, teacher? What is that called?
Ampersand?
Ampersand.
Oh.
At
yeah.
Not Podcast One.
Yeah.
So that anywhere on social media, although Facebook is really where we keep that going. I don't really update anything else. And Derek was one of my former co-hosts, was in charge of keeping up on the Twitter X, whatever you call it, and he doesn't do anything anymore. And then Jay Money was supposed to do YouTube, but again, you have to find people who actually want to be a part of your podcast and contribute. That's half the battle right there, Mav. Yep.
And I think me and Matt starting this really got a fire lit underneath the guys' butts. So we had a great So we had a great episode 1. We're gonna do an episode 2. It's gonna come out on Wednesday next week on the grand finale of the Grand Tour, which is the new version of Top Gear. And there goes my camera. See, I can never get this right. I will never get it right. One of these days. We should have ended a couple minutes ago, but that's all right. We'll just switch cameras.
All of the things that are on his camera there, you have to give us money. That was free, not free advertising. We'll send you guys the bill.
Where was Stomp Box on that, or whatever you call it?
Superbox. Superbox doesn't help me with podcasts. That only helps me get movies illegally. Yeah. But all right, man. Well, thanks for coming out. I hope
don't say illegally, say creatively.
Creatively. Would you join us again one of these days?
Oh, absolutely. I had a lot of fun, Matt. It was awesome. And
pleasure meeting you, sir.
Mav, thanks for having me on. Thanks for letting me talk about Beetlejuice. And
yes, sir.
I mean, it wasn't a perfect movie, but it's worth going to see. It's fun.
Oh yeah,
it's mindless fun. So
if you want to have a good time with your wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend or just your friend, I would definitely take. I don't know if I would take my kids. My kids are 11
be a little
and 9.
Much for them, especially the shark bite, and afterlife. Charles,
or the baby, maybe the birth of that baby.
That baby could be traumatic to some people as well. But I would recommend, if you haven't seen the original, definitely watch that first, because this movie will not make any sense to you if you haven't already seen the original movie.
Correct.
But yeah, thanks. Not Another Nerdy Podcast is where you can find me, and I was also recently on So Wizard Podcast for their 10-year anniversary. 10 years of weekly podcasting. Those guys are
that's crazy.
I was
listening to your last Not Another Nerdy Podcast the other day.
Wolverine one. Yep.
Yeah, and you mentioned that they were going to have their 10-year anniversary one. So I'm glad you made it onto that show.
As a surprise, they had me back after 8 years of not being on there. So that was a nice little reunion with them. That was their episode 525, if you want to check on my appearance there. And
wow.
And then you can check my regular appearances on Not Another Nerdy Podcast, and hopefully on here with you guys again soon.
I hope so. Thanks a lot, man. All right, boys. Popcorn Bucket episode number 1 pretty much wrapped up. See you, everybody.